Hey, brothers, you're listening to Home Bar Happy Hour, where we're talking about our furry little friends down there at the animal shelters. We're talking about the zombie apocalypse, and we're talking about the simple pleasures of life. Treat yourself, America. Let's roll.
All right, yeah, let's treat ourselves. Hey, thank you guys so much for stopping in, hanging out at Happy Hour. Ready for another great episode. Make sure to please like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you can. Helps us out a ton if you're listening on a podcast service. A review is the big thing. How are you doing today, Michael, after that killer Eagles win, that real nail biter of a game? How are you feeling?
Dude, my heart's still on the floor, man. I thought I was going to die.
It was a little rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty rough. Hey, the Phillies, we got the NL East, so let's win this thing, man. Let's get this going.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's go. Good time to be a Philly sports fan, that's for sure.
Yep, the weather's changing. Red October is about here, dude. Yeah, let's get all this rain in and out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's
it's
rock
been
and
like
roll,
kind
brother.
of rainy and crappy here, but I'm like kind of enjoying it being a little cooler out than like the outrageous heat wave we've had like all summer long. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, but let's get into the Stone Cold Gulag locks, shall we,
let's
for the
do
NFL.
it. Let's jump right into it.
I am changing it up. I am not going to do the money line anymore because come to find out that the guys in my Pick'em League, the Bungalow Boys, have been now tuning in to find out who I'm picking. So, I mean, give or take, man, I did clean house last week. Even though I did switch it out at the last minute from Patriots to Jets. That was the only thing I changed. So now it's because of the money line.
Yeah.
But no more money lines anymore, brother. The Gulag is sitting at first place. Still holding strong. So we are going to go into the picks right now. So I got Dallas over the Giants. I got the Saints over the Falcons. Rams over the Bears. Packers over the Vikings. Steelers over the Colts. Jets over the Broncos. The Birds over the Bucks. This is going to be a nail biter, and I feel like Saquon and Dallas Goedert are come up big before our bye week.
Let's hope so.
I got a shocker right here. Here's an upset for you. I got the Panthers over the Bengals.
Okay.
I got the Texans over the Jags. I got the Cardinals over Washington. I got the Niners over the Patriots. The Browns over the Raiders. Chargers over the Chiefs. Ravens over the Bills. Dolphins over the Titans. And Seahawks. Yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks over the Lions.
Seahawks over the Lions. Okay, that's a safe
And
bet.
that's going to be a close one, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be within like a couple points of each other.
What's the line on it?
3.5.
Well, that's a close line.
I know, right? So that kind of gave it away to anybody who's for my Pick'em League.
Yeah.
But so how do you feel about that, Joe?
I feel like there's some stone cold locks right there. You know, I'm pretty
Lock it in, brother.
Lock it in. Yeah, I'm not incredibly well versed in football locks, but if that's what you're saying, that's what I'm going with. I'm not much of a gambling man.
Yeah, but I just did with picks. I didn't do the money lines. The money lines is what's up.
That's where it gets a little. But so like if you do a parlay, right? You have to hit all the money lines. Is that how it works?
No. When you do the parlay, I mean, if you do a money line, so like how I go down and I just do the money lines instead of the over under.
Sure.
Because I'll do like a multi-game picks. But yeah, you have to hit on each money line that you pick.
Well, what are those? What do those bad boys pay out if you hit like all of them? If you hit like
It,
every game, it's like insane, right?
yeah, it all depends on the odds. So if you take
Okay.
the odds are against you, the more you're going to make,
Yeah. I
and
just
it hardly ever pans out.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I've thought about, like, doing into the research because I had a buddy that used to do a parlay, like, every Sunday. He would, or every Saturday or whatever it was, maybe Wednesday because of the Thursday night games. But he would have to pick every single game, and it was like a $5 thing, but it
Yeah,
paid out like 15 grand or something if he hit all of them. I'm
yeah,
like, I don't like, it's a pretty low risk, $5, right, for a big reward.
yeah.
But I wonder like if it ever pans out. You know what I mean? You got to pick every single game correctly. I mean, even a broke clock is right twice
Well,
a
you could
day, but you're talking about
if
a
you
lot of odds.
if you hit all the 1 o'clock games, they'll give you a cash out option if you choose to cash out instead of going. But once those other games are locked in, then there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, they're locked in, but if it's looking like the end of the games here, where it comes down to one game, and
Hmm.
like they'd rather just like pay you out this amount of money rather than you finishing the game and then getting all this.
Sure.
Or like they'll give you another cash out option if you hit all your 1 o'clock and 4:30 games, and well, if you pick Thursday night too, and you get it right, they'll give you a cash out option. So
That's what I'd be taking. I'd be taking the deal or no deal. You know what I mean?
I would absolutely take the cash out option if, and like I'll walk away with a couple $1,000 or a
Yeah.
couple $100, whatever it is.
Yeah. Can't beat that for sure.
Yep. Um, what do we got here? Speaking of bets. Too late, not that one. Let's talk about, it's like those little simple pleasures of life. Joe, what is a simple pleasure you think everyone should experience at least once in their lifetime?
A simple pleasure. So I don't know. This is a tough one. When you're talking about like simple pleasures, just having a nice cold beer after a long day. That's a great little simple pleasure. You know what's great, but like really hard to recommend is like once every year or two or so, just have yourself a cigarette. Those are terrible for you, and they'll really grab you by the horns. But man, like there's a reason so many people die from lung cancer because they make those bad boys so refreshing, just like having a cigarette. But I mean, other than that, I think a simple pleasure is kind of what you make it. Everyone's got their little things that make them feel good, that they enjoy, and yeah, I think you should enjoy as many simple pleasures as you can. What about you, Mike? Do you have any simple pleasures?
Yeah, it's called sitting here drinking and, well, if I was drinking, we had a real banger this weekend. Uh, yeah, that's like a couple of my simple pleasures, just relaxing in the pool or relaxing out the boat with a beer or in the pool with a beer or something like that. In the wintertime, like or in the fall here, out by the fire, smoking a cigar, maybe enjoying a nice high glass of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, dude, some people on here, they got, here's one for you, Joe, taking a walk in nature.
I
Or,
love it. I love a good hike. Love a good
yeah,
hike.
um, thunderstorms with the window open at night. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that one because it gets hot and it's a little. I don't know what it is. I'm just like really hot right now. My fucking glasses are fogging up. But yeah, something like that, or yeah, just a lot of people are here. The smell of rain. The
the you
smell
know
of rain.
the smell, like I don't know if it's the smell of rain or the smell like right after it rains. If you ever walk outside like immediately after it rains, there's like this real distinct smell. And we
Yeah.
know you're a big fan of scents, Mike. If they could
Yes.
if they could
Scents.
find a way to capture that, what is a great scent? I was thinking about this after we talked about it. One of my favorite scents, and I wish they made this a perfume for chicks because I'd be all over it. It would be the biggest aphrodisiac is Skittles. I love the way like a fresh bag of Skittles smells. And I wish there was like some type of Skittles perfume. I wouldn't wear it, but yeah, girl walks up to
What?
me
Hey,
smelling like
man.
Skittles. I'm all about it.
Dude, you might have an idea here. We're gonna call you Kramer. You got to go to Calvin Klein and tell them about that. Tell them about that perfume that you have. It's the peach.
Maybe I will.
It smells
Yeah,
like the peach. What is that smell? Like when Kramer came up with that, something like, imagine you have a perfume and you smell like the beach.
yeah.
And like, yeah, I just what I want to smell of seaweed and toxins in the ocean.
That is incredibly dependent on the beach, right? Like you need to call it like you don't want to come out smelling like Ocean City, New Jersey. That's not a beach you want to smell like. But you can smell like Manhattan Beach in California. That's a great beach. Or like a nice gorgeous beach in Australia or something. Like Bondi Beach. I bet that smells great. But yeah, you don't want to. You smell like Ocean City, Maryland. That beach smells like drunk college kids and used condoms. That's not what you want to smell like.
I had one. A few of my other ones. Seeing the night sky, in any desert. When you're away from, you're a couple hundred miles away from civilization. You're out in the middle of the desert, and you're just looking up at the sky, and it's just crystal clear.
Yeah.
Like just seeing the stars, and that's pretty awesome. Also, an all inclusive. An all-inclusive resort somewhere would be that's definitely I don't know if it's a simple pleasure, it's an expensive pleasure.
Yeah,
But you can get some cheap trips to all-inclusive.
yeah.
But yeah, definitely like something like that.
Yeah, I think all inclusives are the way to go. I think if you're I'm not as much of a drinker as I used to be. When I was like younger in my 20s, all inclusives were like the thing for me. Because it's just all like if you just want to hang out by a pool, by the beach, smell like the beach, and drink for free all day, like that's your spot, man. But as the hangovers get a little worse for me, I'm not as big into all inclusives as I
Oh, I
used to be.
know.
Yeah, because the first day is great, and then the second day you're like, oh man, I don't even want to look at a Corona, and they're just trying to shovel them down your throat. But they are really fun. You can also do like those excursions, man. I would recommend an excursion definitely if you're going on an all inclusive.
I'm definitely trying to do an all-inclusive to Malta in the Mediterranean. It's a
Oh,
small
okay.
little island in the Mediterranean. And
Yeah,
I just want to just go there and I just want to sip champagne and different wines and stuff like that, and just relax, just by myself. You know what I mean? Like that's probably a simple pleasure right there that a lot of people need to do is learn. Like if you're single, focus on being with yourself. I'm telling, like it's like the great. A lot of people hate being by themselves. They have to be like boom, boom, boom. Like
yeah,
I enjoy being by myself. You know what I mean? It's just having. It's not that I miss it because I do, but at the same time, it's like I get to enjoy peace when I go on. You know what I mean? Well, when I'm not a raging fucking party animal, the world's like Matt Bell calls me, the world's oldest living frat boy.
yeah.
But
So you actually bring up a great simple pleasure, and this is one that I do quite frequently. But speaking of like being by yourself, there's a lot of activities that people are claim have to be in groups. No one wants to go do it by yourself. Even being married, I like to get away, have some alone time. I like to get out of the house. I work from home, so I'm always home. Uh, the first time I did this, I want to say it was like 2013 or 2014. I had just had a ton of vacation time. It was like halfway during the work day. I wasn't work from home. I was at work. And I left work at like noon. I was like, hey, I'm taking the half day. There's not much going on. I left work at noon and went to the movies by myself and just
oh,
hung out, watched a movie, leaving work early to go do that. It was fantastic. That was like such a nice, simple pleasure, just a way to get away from work, enjoy a movie. And I think the movies are like the perfect place to go hang out by yourself, because if you go with someone, like maybe you talk like before the movie, but once it starts, like you're just sitting there in the dark with
yeah,
each other. It's not a communal thing, except for the theater itself, right? You're
yeah,
watching a scary movie
absolutely.
or something, or a comedy, you want to hear people laughing. But Yeah, it's a great
Um,
thing to like go experience by yourself.
I think because I used to be like, I didn't want to go anywhere by myself. I don't want to be like, oh, so what am I supposed to sit over there? Like, what's that kid's name out of Superbad? He was like, supposed to sit over there and eat lunch by myself, like that fucking kid.
Yeah.
No, it was like I broke it. It was the movies. Going to the movies. If there was a movie that I wanted to see coming out or whatever, I'll just go and see it by myself. I don't give a shit. I don't need somebody tagging along.
Yeah.
And that and going happy hours. Happy
Okay.
hours were the best. If I wanted to shoot the shit with somebody, I would just shoot the shit with the bartenders. If I don't, then I'm just watching the Phillies game. It's just, you know what I mean? Unless I meet somebody there, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But
Yeah.
speaking of little simple pleasures, so about to wrap up the boat here. Within the next in the next coming month, and I'm wrapping up the pool too in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
And like the winter time, I was thinking about. I brought this up to you. Was adopting a pet, a dog,
Yeah.
rescuing an older dog. Giving him or her like some the back end of their life, some quality love and time and stuff like that. Unlike what they've received so far from the human species as a whole.
Sure.
But but yeah, like I don't go into animal shelters because if I go in there, if you ever want to see the soft side of me, it would have to be going to an animal shelter. I'm like, dude, my heart just melts for maybe not the cats, but definitely the dogs. All the dogs in there, my heart melts for them. I want to take all the dogs with me, man. Load them up in the truck. Come on, boys, we're going to Mexico. But some of these things, like when I see what they sell, go ahead. I'll let you follow up with that before I get into the marketing strategies.
No, I mean it's the same, right? You see all those dogs in there, and they're all cute. Me and my wife got a rescue dog in North Philly not too long ago, like April, and she's the greatest dog, and it was awesome being in there. But you go in, and they bring in all these dogs, right? And we were at a time in our life where we didn't want a very like a crazy dog. We wanted someone that was really chill, and that's what we ended up getting. But this like I still remember this dog. His name was Ragnar. He was a big old greyhound, probably like 80 pounds, just like full of energy, bursting with life. That thing came up. I'm like, I think I want this dog. My wife's like, we can't handle this dog. There's no way. But I agree with you on the cats too. I don't think you need to go rescue a cat. I don't know why there's too many cats. That's what burlap saps and bridges are for. We
I
don't
get well,
we don't need any more cats.
Well, two things with cats. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like cat. I mean, I'm when it comes to animals, like I'm respectful for them. Even like when I go out hunting, I hunt deer and stuff like that. I want to put it down. And it just do its thing. Be respectful of it and everything, and
Yeah.
make sure that eat your kill.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I really don't do too much other else hunting besides rifle. I just like being out in peace and quiet. It's just getting away from everything and just being able to, mentally be at peace, and just, no talking or whatever, which is really hard for me because you know how much I like to talk. But yeah. So when it comes there's there's two reasons why I hate cats. One, they're assholes, dude. Like anytime, like you want to hang out or whatever, they're nowhere to fucking be seen. They're hiding underneath a bed or up on top of a fucking fridge, or
They live their own life,
Yeah,
Live apropos of you.
And then when they do come out, they always want to fucking stick their asshole in your face, and then their piss is like fucking alien blood that eats through the fucking spaceship.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's another thing is that I get allergic to cats, like a mild allergic, like I sneeze a lot and stuff like that. But, I mean, other than that, dude, like, you see some of the shit that they pull with these people on fucking social media with their cameras and stuff, like to be sleeping and the fucking cats go fucking ape shit at 2 o'clock in the morning, like something out of Paranormal Activity.
Dude, that's what they do. And that's what happens with, like, the Tiger King dude and Siegfried and Roy, like these, lions and tigers attack them. Like, and they're all, oh, well, they were trained, they were domesticated. Any cat, any like house cat that's lived in a house forever, they have the ability to just turn. Like sometimes they do, like people will have cats for years and years and they're cool, chill, whatever, and then something hits them and that cat just attacks. Fortunately, you're talking about, a Cheshire or something that's 8 pounds, and you just throw that thing off, and
I think
but
orange cats are the worst.
yeah,
That's
but
how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like they're the wildest. They're like red. They're like red fucking squirrels. Red squirrels are just absolute. They're the ones that tear into your fucking house and shit, and like they just, they're. It's like, yeah, like they're on cocaine. Like, I'm gonna fuck this place up.
yeah, get caught in the Griswold's Christmas tree, like that. That's
That
not
was
the
a great
things you want.
squirrel.
Yeah, and then the cat that gets electrocuted under the.
Yeah, because the fucking asshole was chewing on the goddamn electrical cord.
That's what they do, man.
We don't want to get too far into Christmas Vacation because we're salivating on that one for a couple months down the road. But
yeah, fair enough.
One thing that I was talking about, I was like, when I read through the animal shelter advertisements for the certain dogs, like they'll say like this dog doesn't get along, isn't really. Oh, we have an update.
Uh-oh.
That's going to have to. No, that's just a blueprint. That's just ESPN pushing out shit to buy. It's God damn it, ESPN threw my thing off. It's when they advertise dogs, like this dog isn't kid friendly yet or whatever. I was like, or like if the dog is like, oh, this dog's great with kids. It's just like I feel like. When they say, like, this dog is not great with kids, yeah, he's probably old and he doesn't want to fucking deal with people, like, beating him up and shit.
Yeah.
Him or her. Or, like, if it's like, oh, yeah, the dog's just completely given up on life and he just wants to be, a human punching bag. You know what I mean? Just stick him. Like, the kid's, like, just messing with the dog and stuff. Yeah, go ahead, whatever. Fuck me, right?
Yeah.
But, I like what your wife said. Like, I would be good with a what did she say, a pit bull?
Yeah, a little pity. Those things are cute, and they're actually pretty good if you don't train them to, fucking murder other dogs. They end up being pretty good dogs.
If I got I said if I was to get an English bulldog, I would call him Augustus.
I think you would be great with an English bulldog. I couldn't do it, man. They just drool all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Like they have those jaws. It's just like kind of gross.
They have those like that little bottom teeth that stick out and mean mug you. They just come up, look at you with their side of their head like and mean mug you. I was like, what the fuck, man? What are you mean mugging me for, bro?
Yeah,
Augustus.
Get out of here.
Augustus, what's the problem here? Or like if I got a female pity, it would be like Rosie.
Rosie?
Yeah, Miss Rosie.
A good name. Yeah, Rosie the Riveter. I like that. Well, I hope you get one, Mike. Keep us posted over here at Home Bar Happy Hour.
But so this is pets are something that you don't want to cheap out on. But what is something? All right, so that is something that you refuse to cheap out on. What is something else you refuse to cheap out on?
Yeah. It is funny. Like that's kind of the thing with cats. Not to belabor the point, but dogs always cost money. Like even like rescue dogs or whatever. But man, you can find cats free anywhere. Free kittens are like the second biggest sign next to free candy, right?
Yeah,
like
I heard you can't find them out in Ohio though.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, they're all in some stew or something.
But what is some materialistic thing that you don't feel bad about cheaping out on, or that you refuse to cheap out on? Yeah.
So for me, the biggest thing I actually remember like vividly. I have a notion in my head. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. I was like looking through my underwear drawer, and my wife, who we were just dating at the time, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm looking for like a good pair of underwear," and she was like, "Joe, you're not broke. Like all of your underwear should be a good pair of underwear." And I was like, "You know what? You're absolutely right. Why am I like messing with these underwear that I've had for 5 or 6 years that I'm just wearing on laundry day?" So I threw away like every like old pair of underwear I had. I found like a nice pair that I like. I wear the Pair of Thieves. And they're not like super expensive. It's probably like $20-$25 for a 2-pack, but I spent like $300 on just underwear. So I have, I have like 14 pairs or something, like I have enough for 2 weeks if I don't do laundry. Like, I never typically go that long, but yeah,
COVID in the army ruined that for me.
yeah.
I just don't wear underwear anymore. I just
Oh,
feel that it's so stupid.
you're
I'm like,
freeballing it all the time.
yeah, I free ball unless I'm in the kitchen or if I'm at the gym. Like I'll wear some spandex because that cuts down on chafing and stuff.
Sure
But
does.
I won't cheap out on socks. I always go with the Under Armour ankle socks.
Okay.
And after that, I would assume that it's just like being a chef. Like it's just like the food quality and stuff like that. Oh, one thing you will never find in my house is nothing, no ketchup besides Heinz ketchup. I don't care what people say. Heinz ketchup is the ketchup.
Heinz is
Like
good
that.
ketchup. They make good ketchup. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't care if somebody's like, oh, I don't really like Cousin Eddie down there. Like, oh, this is homemade ketchup here, Clark. You know, or what else that I won't cheap out on would be it would have to be definitely herbs. Like I always do like fresh herbs and like fresh herbs is like a big must.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely like having like fresh. Like now it's soup season. I'm actually making my first soup, and it's actually I'm making a whatever's in the fridge type of soup. Because I
Okay.
have like meat in there that I need to get rid of. So I like just threw in a bunch of stuff. I was and just let it rock and roll. Using my crock pot though for the first time. I usually not my crock pot, my Dutch oven.
Dutch ovens are fantastic,
Yeah,
man. I do so much
but
stuff in the Dutch oven.
I'll tell
You
you
know
one
what
thing
it
that I
is.
will cheap out on is when I do have like people over and like for when you remember when I come people that come over for my barbecues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting any brioche rolls. Like
Yeah.
I'm not buying that shit. You're gonna get the Costco because that's cheaper for me. And like all I ask is that you either throw me a couple shekels or bring a side dish, whatever you can afford.
Yeah.
But
I like the potato rolls. That's what I typically go with if I'm getting high. I don't really like the brioche rolls, man. I don't need that much bread inside me. I'm here for the meat. I'm not here for the bread. Get
well,
out of here.
the brioche rolls are it's just like a buttery roll. It's like I would always assimilate it to a cross between a regular hamburger roll or a dinner roll and a croissant.
Okay.
That's how I would always do it. And they're lighter, they're fluffier, and then when you toast them off on like a Blackstone or a flat top, it's really good. They just have more taste, and that's because of all the butter and fat that's in them.
Yeah.
But I would
Right.
only do that for like some high quality burger that I would make, like a bison burger with some veal or some what I mean, something like that.
Yeah. Something you're really going all out on. Gotta go all
Yeah.
out
Um,
on the rolls too.
yeah. Only if there was a couple people coming over though.
Yeah.
Let's see here. No, we're not going to do it. I'm going to push that one off for next week. So I've been catching up on The Walking Dead here recently. I dropped off in let's see here. It was the season. It was when it was still going. It was Meech and I were watching it, and it was still going on, and it was that season that they were going at it with the Saviors and Negan, and then after that they finished it off, and they captured Negan, and they decided to keep him alive. So I picked up after those couple episodes, and then into the next seasons. So I was like watching this. I was like, if I was in a zombie apocalypse, what would be the best superpower you would need or want for that whole episode of the life?
I think the most important thing, right? Like if you're in a zombie apocalypse, specifically The Walking Dead, because they move pretty slow there. If you just have the ability to like fly or run pretty fast, that would probably be like all you need. If you can just like go up to a tree, you're not getting hit by any zombies. You also have to consider, right? It's a zombie apocalypse. You need a decent amount of food. You need to be able to look in places that haven't been, ransacked already. So, like having that ability to get to places very quickly without a car, eliminating the need for transportation, that would be another like big key in flight or some type of flash type speeding run situation.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, looking through walls, but like these zombies are loud. You can hear them coming. You don't need to look through a wall to see them coming through. You know when they're coming a mile away because they walk in herds and make grotesque sounds. But yeah, I think flight would be the best one. Just there's a bunch coming and there's you can't move back any farther. Well, if you just go up, you're good. You're away from all those zombies.
Do you know the number one that you know what mine would be?
What's that?
It would be Magneto. The ability to control metal.
Okay.
You could be able to be. You could gather all the metal and build your own fortress while everybody's gardening and stuff like that. And then if you get attacked, you have the ability to control metal. And I mean, obviously, this would have to be around, developed area, so you could be able to access all the power of metal, and then you could be able to defend by yourself. I mean, you could just like Magneto just steps on a little ball, turns it into a metal disc, and stands up, just hovers in the air, and just hurtling pieces of steel or separate them all and just send them like, dude, you could just build and defend and create technology all through metal and helping your little compound, your community be better. Like that's what mine would be. Metal, hands down, would be metal.
Okay, that's not a bad one. He's a pretty powerful baddie. That Magneto.
Yeah,
he knew what was going on.
I mean, like at the end of the day, like you could get yourself on a ship, and like you could put everybody on a big steel platform and carry everybody over to a ship, and take off with the ship. You don't even need to have an engine or thing. You can just get that thing rolling with just your powers.
Yeah, you just move the ship around. That's a good point.
Well, you'd have your rotary system. You could be able to operate the rotary system with your power.
I mean, can't Magneto just like, if he's like standing on a metal ship, can't he just move it himself?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's probably.
Get out in the middle of the water, throw that anchor with his brain, and he's good.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you have a right thing. Dude, that would be fucking wild. All I know is that the only power that I have is just like I'm just gathering all my shit, and whoever's not here by the time all hell breaks loose, I'm heading to the mountains, man.
Yeah, you want the high ground, that's for sure.
Yeah. What about you? Do you like The Walking Dead?
I think I left off around the same time as you. I watched. I'm really bad with TV shows. I get like, I don't know, man, a little bit into it. It takes me a long time to watch TV shows. I like endings. I like finality. That's why I like movies, right? I want something to start, and then 2 hours later, let's have a conclusion. The Walking Dead, like the first season was fine. The second season where they're in that like farmhouse, that one was pretty good. Then what was the third season? They were in like a jail. Like that.
That was a good season. Jail, being in a jail when they went against the governor. That was good. Yeah. That was a good one.
Smart moves. But the issue with TV shows, and specifically like I think The Walking Dead falls victim to this a lot, is every season you have to like there can't really be any arcs, there can't be anything learned. Like if this was a movie or a book, they'd find the prison and be like, oh great, we have a safe place, but then they have to like ratchet it up. Okay, well now there's a reason we can't be in the prison, and now we need to find this, and now we can't be fighting zombies, now we have to fight like something scarier like cannibals or whatever. It just it gets out of hand. So
I don't know. I feel like they're still able to build the character arcs each season, and they develop the characters differently as time goes on. And then they like to go and to do flashbacks with a little bit of more backstory or what happened here, like fill in like plot hole gaps and stuff like that.
They do, but the characters like they never realize their arcs because something always has to happen. They either like die, which is fine. Like I'm good with like The Walking Dead does that.
They do that
Game of Thrones killed off people. Yeah, but they,
the shock, the awe effect.
Right. Like a really good example is what's that motorcycle show? The Sons of Anarchy. So there was like I watched that with my wife for a little bit, and I really didn't enjoy much of it. But there was like a season where the dude's son gets like captured and taken. Like the season before ending, he's like, I have a kid. Like I'm out of it. And then the very next season, some people steal his kid and take him to Ireland. So now he's back in and he's, running around Ireland, like getting his kid back. The season ends, he gets his kid and comes home. He's like, all right, now I'm really out of it. And then the very next episode, something has to happen that he's back into it. And you're like, okay, dude, like, you should be out of it by now. Like, we've already had you out of it 3 times in a row. Like, how many times can we keep being like, I guess I'm getting back on this motorcycle to do whatever? And that's kind of how it is with a lot of these TV shows that just run forever. If it's like a Law and Order where every episode's like kind of different and you're like, okay, these characters are just police detectives and it's the murder of the week or whatever, or the monster of the week, I don't mind those. It's just these ever increasing like arcs.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my god, you got like people like my dad, he's trying to, like, this is the last season of Yellowstone, and so the season, it's been like 2 years now or something like that, that's been the last season, and it's just going absolute off the wall. Like, he's not into TV shows, he's never won them. He's like, well, when's this next fucking season coming out? I was like, well, Dad, you have to understand that, like, some of these actors are all doing, actors and actresses and screenwriters and producers and stuff, they're all doing other projects. So, like, when they come, they just don't, well, that's what they need to do. You start something, you finish something. I was like, well, they would have to cancel their entire life for 5 to 6 years, and it all comes down to money, too. And I'm like, and it takes a while for them to develop the script and then to shoot and everybody, and then it's just like babysitting all these actors and actresses, teamwork and stuff. I was like, it's a lot, but I do like how they did say that this is the final season. And what else did they say? There was some. I still feel like they're going to be doing. Well, they still do the Yellowstone spinoffs.
Yeah.
So, like the prequel and the prequels that they're doing, the 1883 and the 1923.
Yeah. The other thing with like TV shows too is like TV show budgets have ballooned to like an insane amount. I mean, when I was growing up, every TV show was 30 minutes or an hour, and it was 22 episodes a year. And each episode probably cost $100,000 to make, And
they were basically like sitcoms or, well, you did grow up in, you did there with The Shield and CSI and Law and Order and.
So it was like The Sopranos, and that was like the first shows and The Sopranos hit when I was like maybe 10, I guess 11. But when like that, Sopranos like really changed because they were like 8 to 10 episodes. They had a good HBO budget. They were spending like $1 million an episode. But I mean, you look at like all the shows before that, going all the way back to like I Love Lucy up to like, Seinfeld, or even like Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that, like these anthology shows. Like, these, like, you can tell by looking at it, like how cheaply these shows were made. Like Seinfeld, every single episode is going to take place at the coffee shop and the apartment because they have these sets built and they go to the same place. Talk about like Yellowstone. I'm sure they have a few sets, but they're hopping all over the place. They're same with like The Walking Dead. They're in a different location every time, so they're only making these like short seasons.
Well, I feel like The Walking Dead's a little bit cheaper to make it, depending on the seasons of where they're going, because I mean they're basically out in nature. And it has to be it has to be an apocalyptic world. So, right. I mean, you're just developing like these small little towns and stuff like that are all just like run down, burned down, and then you just dress these people. Get all these what would you call them?
They're like extras.
Put like rags on them and zombie masks and some little bit of, and then they're not really running with. I mean, there's some action with like guns and stuff like that, but I mean, the majority of the show is all hand-to-hand combat. So all you got to do is just put in gore, blood and guts and stuff like that. But
and they film Walking Dead in Georgia too, so it's a little cheaper to film there than it is in LA or something like that.
Yeah, but speaking of all that, so I was like, what do you think if we had an alien invasion? But I don't know, man. It's getting a little wild. That would be wild, man. People would fucking freak if this would happen. This seems a little bit more realistic than a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But things that would make the alien invaders leave Earth right away. Like, they come in and just be like, nah, see ya, we're out.
I have a great segue for this. I'm glad this is the one you went right into, because we talked about the far end of television. We talked about the high budget Yellowstones and Game of Thrones. Now let's go to the cheapest form of television, and if aliens saw it, they would leave right away, and that's reality television. Right?
Oh
Like
my God,
these
yes.
dating shows. There's a show on Netflix called Too Hot to Handle. Have you heard of this
Yep.
show, Mike?
I heard of it. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I was I couldn't watch it.
It's absolute garbage. Just like 100% trash. I like to have it on while I'm playing a video game or something. But the general plot premise of the show is they take like 20 singles, the people that are between the ages of like 21 and 27, 10 guys, 10 girls, the absolute hottest people that you've ever seen in your life, just the most gorgeous people in the world, put them on an island and say, hey, there's $1 million for you guys to win. But every time one of you guys kiss each other, anytime there's any little hanky-panky, we take money away from that pot. And that's like the whole premise of the show. They put them on an island, liquor them all up, keep them in bathing suits. And it is just like all the people on the show, their only talent in life is being good looking. Like they're Zoolanders. You know what I mean? They have no other life skills or anything. They're just really, really ridiculously good looking. And I swear, like, you show aliens this is what we do for entertainment. We sit around and we watch people in sex jail, and we tempt them with money if they can go for 4 days without boning. Aliens would be like, we're out of this country. We're out of this world. There's no way, man. What are you guys doing?
Somebody said developing a herpes biological weapon. or chambering up everyone's farts and firing it at them.
What?
Yeah, dude. Unleashing the Kardashians.
There you go. There is the reality. If those were our leaders, right?
The best one, Karens of the world unite.
That's exactly what we need. We need a white woman with short hair to walk up to the aliens and ask to speak to their manager.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, "We're getting out of here. I don't think this country's for us."
Somebody said British food.
Ooh, yeah, give them some blood sausage.
Yeah. Oh, dude, don't be knocking that blood sausage, man.
Yeah,
you got. Well, there's certain. You got to get it fresh, and you get it down. You can get it at certain places here. But yeah,
I thought blood sausage was illegal in the States because they use real blood.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to get the good shit. Yeah, but and then all you do is you just bake it. You bake it, and then you cut it open, and then I would eat it like when I was young. I'd eat it with my dad, and I would eat it, and just mix it with some. You got mashed potatoes there, just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Put it with the mashed potatoes, eat it with that. It's pretty fucking good shit, man.
All right, I'll take your word.
I haven't ate it in over a decade or two. It's not good for you at all, man.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Unless you have an iron deficiency, then it's probably pretty good. You get yourself a little extra iron in there.
Yep. Show them any presidential debate.
Yeah. Those are rough. That's all real specific to America, though. They were just coming to the world. There's other countries that are worse off than us.
Introduce them to the 76 different pronouns we currently have.
There's a lot of pronouns.
Yeah. Kensington Ave.
Ooh, that hurts.
Broadcast C-SPAN. What else? My mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, fresh-faced in the morning. Oh my god, homeless guy masturbating on the subway is definitely a contender.
Homeless people, you haven't like lived in a crazy city and had to take public transport, but in LA, man, didn't sit next to someone, but a guy sat down next to me who had a needle behind his ear like a pencil. And I was like, man, you're ready for that test you're taking later, huh? I mean, people get the
Yeah.
nods, and yeah, it's weird.
One last one. One last one. Personal injury attorneys.
Better call Saul, baby.
Yeah, right? Yeah, fuck all that bullshit. But
Yeah, this is how we make money over here.
well, Joe, that's all I got to say for today, brother.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we did another episode. Hey, thank you guys so much for hanging out at Happy Hour. Make sure to get in those Stone Cold Gulag locks, and we'll see you next week.
Take her easy, America. All right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.